Hello, gentle travelers! Welcome to halfway through turn 3. I suppose this is technically the midway point of the game, although I would imagine that the half of the game that is yet to come will be significantly faster than the half of the game which has immediately preceded this, simply because both sides are looking pretty beaten up and bruised right now, and there's substantially less to deal with at this point. But anyway, what happened in this turn? Well, the remaining Tau, Orc, and Chaos reinforcements came in. We had Kroot come in near the Wraith Guard over there. We had a rapid insertion team deep strike down near where the Hierophant was. We had Storm Boys attempt to come down on the bridge, but scattered horribly and landed on the stairs down next to where the Revenant Titan was. In the back, we had a unit of Possessed and also of Grots come in. We had Death Coptas come in down in the side here near where the Herodule is. The other Stealth Devilfish in the assist-associated team appeared on the bridge where they were waiting all along. And also, we had the Tau Remoras come in. Last but not least, Guardsman Marbo, outfitted in his shiny new Tau armor, appeared near where the Phantom Titan was. In the shooting phase, things went to hell. Guardsman Marbo chucked his Vortex Grenade, which promptly scattered right back on top of him. So he's lost to us, but you know, hey, it's cool. So took a Wave Serpent with it. Combined Tau and Chaos shooting, was able to take down the Hierophant. Brenden was able to call in a precision strike with his marker lights on the Hierophant, and through combination of broadsides and the rapid insertion team and the Chaos Bikes with their melta guns and plasma guns, were successfully able to bring down the Hierophant. Other notable shooting that occurred, the Death Coptas shot at the Herodule and took some wounds off that. One other bit of reinforcements that came in, we had the Chaos Terminators that came down on the objective that was here. 3 squads that came in. One of them shot at the Titan, which was here. Shot with a melta gun. The melta gun didn't do anything. They were close enough that the Heavy Flamer did hit the back, and the Revenant Titan went up in an apocalyptic explosion and took a lot of stuff with it. Gargoyles, lots of the Terminators, vehicles. The Storm Boy squad was wiped out almost to a man. The Flamers on the back field there were able to kill 2 striking Scorpions and get Crandris down to 1 wound. The Lord of Change flew from where he was on the bridge over here, over to where the Phantom Titan is. He cast his various spells and was able to turn a couple of Necron warriors into spawn, but otherwise wasn't able to do all that much, actually. Broadsides fired at the Necron pylon and succeeded in damaging it, although it can still fire next turn. During the assault phase, on the back, the newly arrived Maelstrom of Gore assaulted the Thunderwolf Cavalry. It was a prolonged combat. In the end, it's simply Canis Wolfborn and one of the Wolf Lords that is left. Everyone else fell. The Possessed and the Gene Stealers fought each other to a stalemate in the back. The Warbikes assaulted the Phoenix Lord of the Shadow Spectres and were promptly cut down without getting a word in edgewise. Maybe not the smartest idea, but you know what? What can you do? Warlord Volgrim charged in to help Farsight and his friends with the Lictors problem they were having. So the Lictors have been gone now, and the Tau commanders are free to move about for the first time now. Eyez the Woodsman was felled by a squad of Gene Stealers over here. Kroot assaulted the Wraith Guard and were mercilessly cut down for their trouble. Kroot also attacked the Nightbringer, however, and the Nightbringer was defeated but exploded and took several. The Chaos Dreadnought assaulted the Lone Wolf Guard, who was standing in the woods, and they succeeded in doing absolutely nothing to each other. The Screamer that survived the explosion of the Revenant Titan assaulted the Predator that was here, was successful in destroying it, but it blew up in turn and killed the Screamer with it. So, this ongoing combat up here, the combat was very much weakened because it was caught in the explosion of the Revenant Titan, so now everyone left in that combat is down to 1 wound. Abaddon's Demon Sword didn't want to cooperate this turn, so he was not able to actually do anything. The Terminators that were down here also despoiled the objective that had been left, and the Raptors, which came down in the parkland over here, also spoiled the objective, so there are now currently only 4 objectives left on the board. I think the only other major assault that happened was the Lord of Change assaulting the Phantom Titan. It was only successful in taking 1 structure point off of it, so that combat will be ongoing. The conclusion to the assault phase in turn 3 was, of course, the Combat of Champions over here, with the Stealth suit fighting the 4 remaining Dire Avengers. That combat is ongoing. Well, the Green Tide and the Endless Swarm did fight. They continued their combat. It was close, but the Green Tide is slowly being whittled down. I think there's only a handful of members left, probably about 15 of the Green Tide, so I don't expect them to survive past the next assault phase. But you know what? Miracles can happen. So, on to the latter half of turn 3, the less awesome part, in my personal opinion, but I'm just incredibly biased. Alright, welcome to the end of turn 3. The board is looking mighty sparse these days, but there's still a couple of valiant survivors fighting over the tattered ashes of this world. Beginning of the movement phase, we had some members of the Endless Swarm come back on, because that's what they do. And we also had the Seer Council of Ulthwé, accompanied by Prince Uriel, just appear out of the Wraith Gate, because that's just how they roll. Okay, so in the shooting phase, there was shooting. There was lots of it, and it was horrific. The Pylon was able to successfully take down the remaining Tiger Shark, bringing the once mighty Tau Air Force down to a single Barracuda because the Phoenix bomber was able to take down one of the other Barracudas. And the 2 Remoras. The 2 Remoras are gone? Okay, we had 2 Remoras. Okay, Tau Air Force is still flying strong. Don't let me say anything otherwise. I don't know what I'm talking about. Over here we had a lot of Necrons shooting at the Demons, and they were able to take down their 2 former comrades who were turned into spawn. But there's 4 horrors left of the original squad of 8. In the back, the Flamers were taken out by Necron shooting, mostly. The Shadow Sect decided to go from there, or just had enough of that building, and they appeared on the landing pad here, where they proceeded to assault the Rapid Insertion Team. The Hammerhead in the back was taken down through the combined fire of 2 Wraith Lord, the Wraithier, and finally the Shining Spears took it out. The rest of the Wraith Guard directed their fire towards the broadsides and were able to take out 1 unit of them on the lower level of that building. The building's still standing up. Resilient construction on the world of Umelkar. What can we say? We're pretty awesome at it. In combat, the tattered remains of the Green Tide are still valiantly holding off the Endless Swarm and the Swarm Lord, but their numbers are down. I think there's 5 models left. Shaughn wasn't decent enough to allow me to stay in the unit coherency with his attacks, but what can I say? No judgment. Not judging. Right here. Okay. The Seer Council of Ulthwé assaulted the Tau HQ unit. Were very successful in damaging a lot of them. The 2 survivors, including Oshova, fell back, leaving 1 behind with the failsafe detonator, which blew up, taking a Warlock down with him. So that was valiant sacrifice for the greater good. The Striking Scorpions from the Shadow Sect assaulted the Rapid Insertion Team, were able to take down quite a number of them. However, I believe Crandris was felled through Tau Close Combat. So the combat in the back with the Gene Stealers and the Possessed is still continuing on to a bloody stalemate. The 2 Crisis Suits here were able to successfully take down the 2 remaining Harlequins there. So moving on, we had a looted wagon which was blown up by the Banshees in close combat. The Dreadnought and the Wolf Guard are still madly flailing at each other. The Wolf Guard was successful in immobilizing the Dreadnought though. Over here, this long-standing combat has finally come to a close. Logan was able to take down Abaddon, but with his dying moves, Abaddon was able to take down Logan and also the Hive Tyrant, which assaulted in and took out the Sorcerer that was with them. So now there's just a bunch of confused-looking gargoyles standing near where so much blood was spilled. The Lord of Change, in assaults with the Phantom Titan, Bjorn the Fell-Handed charged in. Lord of Change was able to immobilize him and destroy his Dreadnought close combat weapon, but he was remarkably unable to do anything to the Phantom Titan at all. I think that's actually all the major stuff that went on, so we're going to move on to turn 4, and I imagine turn 4 and turn 5 will be brief affairs, briefer certainly. There's still lots of combat going on, but as I say, it's looking pretty sparse right now. Where's Window Train goes by? God damn, it'll be a rail! If it's longer though, is it CN rail?